Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos receives a cabal of greetings from His Highness the Deputy Prime Minister for the Council of Ministers on the occasion of the 46th Glorious National Day. The Higher Committee for Conferences reviews the outcome of Ministerial Committee meeting. Assigned by His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, the Chairman of the State Council leads the Sultanate's delegation in Climate Change Conference in Morocco. And activities of the second political forum start in College of Economics and Political Science at Sultan Qaboos University. Live from the news center of the Sultanate of Oman television, here we present to you 7 o'clock news bulletin. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos received a cabal of greetings from His Highness Sayyid Fahd bin Mahmoud Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for the Council of Ministers, on the occasion of the 46th Glorious National Day. His Highness stated that in the prosperous era of His Majesty, all requirements of the comprehensive development for all life facilities, as each phase has been planned according to the requirements needed to continue the march of building and spreading their scope to cover all the country's parts so as to respond to the demands of the society despite the economic challenges faced by the world nowadays. He added that the Omani citizen enjoys a community of quality in the rights and duties, dominance of law, preservation of geographic dimension in all implemented plans and programs. The positive participation with the enlightened throughout the decision-making is clear through His Majesty's unlimited support to the Shura process in the Sultanate. He further indicated that His Majesty's keenness isn't restricted to internal construction, but also extended to the foreign policy, the priority of which is for peace and dialogue among countries, emphasizing on the Sultanate's main policy foundations that is based on tolerance and strengthening bonds of cordiality. His Highness further stated that the Council of Ministers is highly taking into consideration the noble royal approaches of His Majesty the Sultan to preserve the trends of the developments in the country to achieve the targeted goals with the continuous following up of implementation for programs in order to reach the suitable growth levels. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has received a cabal of thanks from His Excellency President Joko Widodo of Indonesia in reply to His Majesty's cabal of greetings on his country's independence anniversary. The Higher Committee for Conferences held a meeting today chaired by His Highness Sayyid Fahd bin Mahmoud Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for the Council of Ministers, Chairman of the Committee, with attendance of Their Highnesses and Excellencies, the members of the Committee. Within the framework of the keenness of His Majesty the Sultan to support the process of the GCC countries, the committee reviewed in its meeting the outcome of Ministerial Committee, mainly recommendations forwarded to Their Majesties and Highnesses, the leaders of the GCC countries, for the 37th meeting due to be held in Manama in the Brotherly Kingdom of Bahrain. The Higher Committee discussed means of boosting the joint Gulf work through implementing the decision that have been reached earlier and the efforts exerted to complete them, in addition to the vision of the consultancy authority on the issues that have been studied and were assigned by the Higher Council, aiming at supporting the joint work and strengthening the Gulf citizenship, beside other matters concerning the citizens of the region. The committee also reviewed a number of topics related to economic, social, media and cultural aspects regarding requirements of the coming phase of the Gulf process. The committee stressed on the importance of achieving more cooperation among the GCC countries to fulfill demands of the citizens and their aspirations for a better future. Assigned by His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, His Excellency Dr. Yahya bin Mahfouz al-Mandhari, Chairman of the State Council, participates in the 22nd Conference of the Parties, COP 22nd, to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, which started in Marrakesh city in Morocco. The conference discussed a number of topics on its agenda, especially those related to the results of the Paris deal to reduce emissions of gases that cause increase in the Earth temperature degrees. The deal was supported 55 countries responsible for carbon dioxide emissions, including United States, China, and India. His Excellency Chairman of the State Council was accompanied by His Excellency Mohammed bin Salim At-Tobi, Minister of Environment and Climate Affairs, and His Excellency Abdullah bin Ubaid Al-Hinai, Ambassador of the Sultanate to Morocco. The College of Education at Sultan Qaboos University organized the 4th International Conference under the theme Academic Accreditation, the Way to Ensuring Sustainability of Education. The conference reflects the importance of the academic accreditation and its role in developing the program related to the preparation of teachers. It provides an opportunity for networking and sharing experiences among researchers and those interested in educational issues to come out with recommendations and proposals that may enhance the level of the teachers' preparation programs and ensuring sustainability of education. It also covers a number of key themes that are related to the main theme of the conference, namely the accreditation of academic programs, the role of data-driven decision management, the role of educational leadership in enhancing quality and development of education. Activities of the second political forum started in College of Economics and Political Science at the Sultan Qaboos University. The forum came under the theme Role of Public Institutions in Development of Political System in the Sultanate of Oman. The idea of the forum represented in hosting a group of long experienced specialists in the political arena, as well as specialists in politics and international relations from within the Sultanate. It aims at disseminating political awareness, supporting means of dialogue among individuals, familiarizing with the Omani women's role in political positions, understanding roles of public councils in developing the Omani policy. It further focused on the role of Shura Council in representing focal point between the country and the citizen, familiarizing with the importance of the Council of Oman in addition to developing students' talents in political discussion and upgrading knowledge level among the participants. The Ministry of Housing distributed 50 ownership deeds of residential units to the citizens living in the mountainous villages in Sifani area located in Niaba of Tiwi in the Wilaya of Sur. The units are close to schools, hospitals and services. The total cost of the units reached around 1.5 million Omani Riyals. Recommendations of Higher Military Committee of the GCC Chiefs of Staff topped the discussions of the Joint Defense Council of Their Highnesses and Excellencies, the Defense Ministers of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries held in Saudi Arabia. The Sultanate's delegation to the meeting was led by His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Saud bin Harb al-Busaidi, Minister responsible for Defense Affairs, with the attendance of Lieutenant General Ahmed bin Harith bin Nasser al-Nabhani, Chief of Staff of the Sultan's Armed Forces. During the meeting, they discussed the steps that had been achieved in different military cooperation aspects, stressing to move forward in realizing further military coordination among the GCC countries. Committee of Urban Planning at the Ministry of Housing reviewed today more than 28 technical and planning topics. Various investment topics in different governorates of the Sultanate were also discussed, in addition to issues related to changing the use of lands in the governorates of Al-Dhahira, Al-Buremi and Musandam. His Excellency Engineer Saif bin Amara Al-Shakhsi and the Secretary of the Ministry of Housing headed the meeting. Still to come in our news bulletin. A research team from United Kingdom conducts a study on Majlis Jinn Cave to discover its content of natural treasures and wildlife. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Developing military relations in marine fields topped discussions at the meeting held between Rear Admiral Abdullah bin Khamis al-Raisi, Commander of the Royal Navy of Oman, with Major General Dean J. Midler, Deputy of the Central Command of the United States Army, and his accompanying delegation currently visiting the Sultanate. The two sides exchanged cordial conversations on several matters of concern on naval fields. Oman Logistic Company announced that implementing the infrastructure of the first square of the logistic city in the governorate of South Al-Batin will finish soon. It came during the visit of the municipal council members of the governorate to the logistic Khazain area, which hopefully will start operating at the end of next year. The first phase includes the establishments of a 3 square kilometers block that includes a store area, truck services center, housing, shopping and entertainment areas, as well as other places for government facilities. Other services will also be available in the area, such as public and custom services, among many others. The National Awareness Campaign was concluded today under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al-Saidi, Minister of Health. More details in the following report. The awareness campaign, organized by the Minister of Health, represented by the Non-Communicable Diseases Department in the Directorate General of Primary Health Care, concluded today. The campaign focused on kidney diseases, its risk factors like blood pressure and diabetes, and the ways of prevention. The campaign targeted the colleges, high schools and some public areas throughout the Sultanate's governorate. Number of general directors of health services and directors of primary health care in the governorates attended the event. Dr. Saeed Al-Lamki, Director General of Primary Health Care, stressed in his speech to the importance of this campaign and the importance of early detection of chronic diseases, where 80% of the diseases that cause kidney failure can be prevented. He also added that this campaign came to raise the health awareness of the community, especially on the causes of the kidney diseases like diabetes and blood pressure. At the end of the ceremony, the minister honored the numbers of community members and private sector institutions who contributed in the success of the campaign. The Omani Society for Writers and Literates had a seminar last night titled Omani Traditional Stories from the Narrator to the Teacher. The seminar discussed means of preserving this type of intangible heritage by including those stories in the school books, as they are considered an important element of the Omani culture. The Oman National Transport Company, Muwasalat, announced that it will launch a new Muscat-Duqm route from 25th November 2016 as part of the 2016 plan of new services announced earlier. The launch of the new route reveals Muwasalat plans to stimulate traffic to and from the Duqm area in order to provide a safe and comfortable transport services for travelers. A research team from the United Kingdom is implementing a study on Majlis Jinn Cave in the Wilaya of Qurayat, which is one of the sources of researchers and experts' inspiration to discover its content of natural treasures, geological formations and wildlife. The study came within the other environmental studies implemented by the National Center for Field Research in cooperation with the Ministry of Tourism. The cave is considered one of the world's biggest underground caves. The total area of the cave is 58,000 square meters with 310 meters long and 225 meters wide. It is distinguished by 3 halls to allow adventurers to enter the cave by ropes. The public relations students at Nizwa College of Applied Sciences organized a campaign entitled FOBO to create an awareness about the fear of being offline. Here is a report by Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi.
The fear of being offline, or FOBO, is the result of addiction to digital technology. Nowadays, many of us cannot go for long without checking our phones at every opportunity, looking at our emails every hour, or updating our status on Facebook even more often. Therefore, the public relations students of Mass Communication Department at Nizwa College of Applied Sciences organized a campaign entitled FOBO, aiming to raise awareness about the fear of being offline and to reduce online activities while driving.
FOBO means fear of being offline, and how people imagine that how people can live without internet, without using the mobile phone.
This two-day campaign focused on the problems of the fear of being offline through various activities, namely speeches, short videos, and theatrical shows to highlight issues associated with FOBO.
The main objective of this campaign is to increase the awareness of public about reduce the using of mobile phone while driving.
In addition, there was a roadshow to carry an awareness-raising message about FOBO in Nizwa, using a specially designed bus which traveled to several key venues in the city. The fear of being offline is growing fast and affects many of us. Initiatives such as this campaign is hoped to reduce the impact. Saleh al-Rahbi from the College of Applied Sciences, Nizwa.
And now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear skies will prevail over the most of the governorate with chances of low clouds and fog early morning and late at night. On the governorate of Al-Wusta, South Sharqiya and Dhafar, winds will be northeasterly to easterly light to moderate. Seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1 meter. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos receives a cabal of greetings from His Highness the Deputy Prime Minister for the Council of Ministers on the occasion of the 46th Glorious National Day. The High Committee for Conferences reviews the outcome of Ministerial Committee meeting. Signed by His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, the chairman of the State Council leads the Sultanate's delegation in the Climate Change Conference in Morocco. And activities of the second political forum start in College of Economic and Political Sciences at the Sultan Qaboos University. With that, we come to an end of tonight's news bulletin, brought to you live from the news center of the Sultanate of Oman Television. This news is being directed by Mohammed Al-Mahrouqi, edited, and the chief editor is Huda Al-Jahwariya. Thank you for joining us.